Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about a very requested topic. It's something that I get asked a lot. I get asked a lot on YouTube, and then I also just have been asked this question a lot. It is how to become a makeup artist, or if I'm interested in makeup and I have a passion for makeup, how do I take the next step and make a profession out of it, or charge people for my services? Like, what steps do I need to take? And I feel like that's going to be different for everyone. I think it's going to depend on okay, before I get there, let me just tell you a little bit about my background. So I have been a makeup artist for, how old am I? I'm 32. I've been a makeup artist since I was like 19 is when I started working at MAC. So what is that, 13 years? So my start in makeup is kind of like I feel most makeup artists start is. I started working at a cosmetic counter. I started working at MAC when I was in college, and I got the job because I loved makeup and it was a passion of mine, a really strong hobby interest of mine. I had no idea at the time that it was going to be something that I would continue to do after school and after I left MAC, but it really just carried on with me for years. I worked for MAC for about 6 years. I worked at a makeup counter as a makeup artist, and then I became a resident trainer for the company, which is basically in MAC that is someone that kind of has a region, and they travel to the different stores and train new artists. They train all of the artists within your region on new products and customer service and makeup artistry and all of that. So I did that for 2 years, and that was by far kind of the coolest job I think I've ever had. It was just so much fun, and oftentimes I couldn't believe I was getting paid to do what I was doing every day because I loved it. I did decide to leave MAC shortly after I got married, and I wanted just some more stability to my schedule. Working retail is really hard, and I just wanted a little bit more stability. I wanted more of a Monday through Friday kind of work week, and so I left MAC, and I started working in more of a corporate office environment, and I did that for about a year without doing any makeup. And I just realized during that year that I loved makeup. Like, makeup was what I was passionate about. It's something that I would do regardless of if I got paid for it or not. So I launched my wedding makeup business then, and for the next few years I would do both. So I would work in the office Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends I would work with brides. And it was great. I loved it. Then I had a little baby about 3 years ago, and I had to kind of slow down. And so I put pretty much everything on pause. I actually left my full-time job, and I even pulled back from doing wedding makeup. Just because I really wanted to focus on being a mom, and I really wanted to have my family time be my priority. But then a couple of years later, I kind of got the itch to get back into things, and so I'm not doing as much makeup anymore these days. I do work back in the office. I work 3 days a week, and it's a great balance for me. I love getting out of the house and being in an office environment, and then I also love having that time, that flex time on the second half of my week to be mommy and to be home with my kids. And so YouTube was really started for me last year because I wasn't doing as much wedding makeup, just because wedding makeup is always on the weekends, and even though I love doing makeup, I can't change the fact that it will always be on the weekends. Not many people are getting married on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, and that's when my husband works, so I wanted to find something where our schedules weren't opposite. And when I do wedding makeup, we were just never spending quality time together. So the more and more I pulled back from that, the more and more I felt the urge and the desire to work in makeup again. I'm sorry, my phone keeps going off. And that's why I started YouTube. And because I remember being a trainer, and I remember what I loved most about that job was not only playing with makeup, but it was teaching other people, and it was collaborating with other people and sharing what I loved with other people. And I felt like YouTube was the perfect outlet for me to do that. So that's why I started YouTube about a year ago. And yeah, that's my story. So let's talk about, if you're someone that is interested in getting into makeup, how do you get about doing that? Well, there's a couple of different ways. I'm going to kind of share my route, which was getting started at a makeup counter. So that would be the best piece of advice I could give you. Makeup counters are pretty much in every pocket of the United States. So no matter where you live, you probably have a makeup counter that you can go to and apply to work. What's great about that is that you are going to have so much training, even if you work for a cosmetic line that doesn't invest a lot in training, which most of them do. But I was fortunate enough to work for MAC, where that was a big, they had this whole part of their company for artist training and development. Not every line has that, but even if you don't have that, you have the opportunity to work in a counter and touch people's face every day. And that's really, truly the best training and best practice that you can get, is sitting people down in a makeup chair and just doing their makeup. And the more and more you practice and the more you do, the better that you will be. And the beauty about working at a makeup counter is that you are working with everybody. You're working with all ages, all ethnicities, all different types of skin problems, acne, aging skin, all of that. You're not, some high-profile makeup artist that only works with supermodels who look perfect and have perfect skin and all of that. It's easy to make those people beautiful, right? You really learn and grow as an artist when you are faced with challenges, and you learn what's going to work best for those different skin types or skin problems, or how to mix certain shades for different skin tones. So that's really why I feel working at a makeup counter is the best experience you can have to get your career started as a makeup artist. So never ever think you're above that, ever. It is, I think, some of the best makeup artists that I admire and look up to all started at a makeup counter. So that's my biggest piece of suggestion. My biggest piece of advice. If you want to go the other route where maybe you don't want to have the commitment of working at a makeup counter and you want more flexibility with your schedule, because let's say maybe you do want to start taking some freelance jobs, whether they're paid or not, on the side, and you need that flexibility, that's the one thing you don't get from working at a makeup counter, is you don't get that flexibility. You more than likely are going to have to work on weekends, which is going to be when most of the paying jobs are for makeup. So that's the only thing that can kind of hinder your growth as an artist, is not being able to take those jobs. Another thing you can do is find a high-profile makeup artist that's in demand in your market. And in some markets, you can find them more easily than in other markets. If you're from a small town, you might not have someone that you can reach out to, but if you're in a bigger market, then you probably do. But find someone that you know is in demand, that is experienced, that can really teach you a lot, and ask to work underneath them, and do it for free. Just expect that if you approach someone like that, you have to be willing to pay your dues and to shadow them, and to almost work as an apprentice. Don't go into it expecting to be paid initially. Just think of you're being paid as in you learning from them. So find someone that's really able to teach you, and make sure when you talk with them, tell them that that's what you want. Make sure that they are someone that is going to, if they're not going to pay you, they are going to teach you. You don't want to find someone that's just going to use you for your services, and they're not really going to take any time to train you and to help you grow. So those are probably the two best ways to get started and to get your experience and to get your foot in. What I like about working at the makeup counter versus the other is that you're going to have a lot more exposure to kind of real life situations. Again, when you're working with a makeup artist, you're probably going to be working with models. You're not going to have that same level of exposure, for lack of a better word, than you would if you're at a makeup counter. And then once you kind of get the confidence that you feel like, I can do this, like I can do someone's makeup confidently, and I know all the basic tips and techniques and tricks to contour and highlight and to deal with covering blemishes in the skin, and to just kind of learn the basics of makeup, and you're ready to start charging. I think the first thing to do is get a portfolio together. So whether you donate your services to a photographer that's building their services, or you do makeup for a friend who's having their photos taken for free, do things so that you can get professional images of your work. So that is so important. I can't stress to you how important that is. Brides these days are going to go straight to your website or your Facebook page or your Instagram or wherever they can find you online to look at your work. So you want to make sure that you have really good images of your work. And now that we're on that subject of images, don't edit the crap out of your pictures on Instagram. I'm not going to lie and say I don't use filters and I don't do that or this or that, but sometimes I see these makeup photos, not even sometimes, all the time, I see makeup photos on Instagram, and they are just like, they look like Barbie dolls. Like, I'm like, no one's skin actually looks that way. Have some integrity in your work, and really keep your photos as, don't touch the makeup, don't alter the makeup in it, do as minimal editing as possible when you're showcasing your work, because I just feel like that's the right thing to do, especially when you're working with brides, or real people, and I say real people, models are real people, but you know what I'm saying, people that you want them to have a true understanding and expectation of your skill level. The last thing you want to do is sit someone in your chair that has these expectations that they're going to look like something that they saw on your Instagram that looks nothing like the original picture that you took. So just keep that in mind when you are tempted to get a little edit happy in all of these different editing apps that there are. So get your photos online. That's the next step. Invest in a good quality kit and good quality products. So not every makeup product has to be expensive. Not every professional product has to cost you a lot of money, but really find products that you know are going to work well for the climate or the type of work that you're doing. So if you're working with brides and you live in a hot town like I do, Austin, Texas, you want to find, well, regardless of where you live, if you're working with brides, you want to find products that wear all day. You want to find products that require little touch-ups, that are really going to have a long wearability, because more than likely you're not going to travel with that bride all throughout the day and be there to touch her up like you will be if you're on set of a photo shoot or you're on set of a TV show. You know, jobs like that, you're right there to touch that person up all the time. I recently did a music video for a friend, and I cannot tell you how many times I touched up her lips in one, in like an hour time period. Brides don't have that luxury of having you there, so you want to make sure you're choosing products that have long wearability and that work really well. So really get familiar with what works well. Do your research, become a student of your craft. Always be looking at makeup videos on YouTube or reviews and all of, to really know and get a pulse on what products are out there and what's going to be best for the type of work that you're doing. Okay, what else? Network and collaborate with other makeup artists. So don't get in this idea that other makeup artists in your town or your market are your competition, because that will get you nowhere. The thing about being a makeup artist is that you're only one person. You can only do so much work, and when you become really in demand, you are going to find yourself in a situation where you're having to turn down work, and you're having to refer them to someone that you trust and that you like. And so you're going to refer them to someone that has taken the time to network with you and to build that relationship. So you want to make sure that you have done that yourself with other makeup artists in your community. Never think that you're better than anyone. Never have this idea that you're the best and no one else, don't have that idea, because that will really get you nowhere. You want to really be in a community of other makeup artists. Start a Facebook page. I have a really good friend here in Austin, and she is wonderful at this. I can tell you that she is probably one of the most loved and just one of the most loved makeup artists in our makeup artist community. Everyone loves her because she's just so positive and so supportive, and I'm talking about you, Ray. But one of the things that she started was a makeup Facebook page within our Austin, and it was great. She said, this is a page where we go and we help each other. So if we need a last minute artist to support us and help us on a job, go to the Facebook page. If you need to refer a client to someone and you want to check other artists' availability, go to the Facebook page. So creating little communities like that will really help you network and just brand yourself in the community of makeup artists that you live in. Never underestimate the power of a customer review. So especially in the wedding industry, that is how most brides are going to find you as you start to build a reputation. People are going to look for good reviews, positive reviews. So encourage your clients and your brides to go and write a positive review if they've had a positive experience with you. Of course, negative reviews will affect you the same way, but just the opposite way. It's going to affect you very negatively. So make sure that you're always showing up on time, you're always being professional, you're always being polite and respectful. You are a very, very important role in a bride's day, and it's important that you take that seriously, because brides talk, and I can say that referrals are probably 60% of our business. It just is. I mean, you do a bride's makeup, and then her bridesmaids call you the next year, and then their bridesmaids call you the next year, and it's just a trickle-down effect. So you really want to make sure that you are putting the best reputation, the best foot forward, the best impression of yourself out there. You want to take that very seriously, and you also want to encourage your brides to write reviews. Well, that's all I can think of for today. I hope those tips helped you if you are interested in pursuing a career in makeup. I have no regrets about it. It has been, makeup has just been a strong passion of mine forever, and I love the community of makeup artists and makeup lovers, whether you're a professional artist or just a makeup lover. I love the community, and I love how supportive we are of each other. So good luck to you. Let me know if you have questions in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!